My first major memorable experience was at Mary Queen of Scots house in Jedburgh, and I actually saw an apparition of a woman walk through a doorway, and there was nobody on that entire floor that entire time, and it was, just as solid as you or me. And it was the classic ghost type. She was wearing Tudor dress, all that kind of stuff, and so that was the first, and that's still my most memorable one to this day.
My name is Drew Bartley, I'm 52 and I'm a paranormal investigator. Yeah, I'm an assistant radiographer. I do that obviously on a full-time basis. This is more like a professional hobby. I've spent a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort into this because I'm really, really serious about trying to find some evidence, some concrete evidence for this stuff. I would love to capture an apparition. That's every paranormal investigator's dream. That's the golden thing, to capture an apparition, but they're so hard to find and capture. I think it's a case of being at the right place at the right time.
Right, for me personally, what constitutes evidence is good video footage in a locked off area. When you're carrying out investigations, you've got to make sure that where you're investigating is controlled. If you can prove that it's controlled, like you've got like a full door and frame, if the full door opens, you can see that there's nobody there opening it. That could be sort of classed as good evidence.
Well, we've had quite a lot of interesting stuff, and evidence-wise, bangs, clatters, in rooms which are totally empty, without wind or any of that stuff. To me, that's pretty compelling evidence. I'm not entirely sure what's causing it. I can't say that it's a natural thing, because how do you explain it? If it's not wind, if it's not some other thing happening, what is it? So,
obviously, filming an apparition, a full-blown apparition, that's probably, that's the golden thing. EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, which is disembodied voices that aren't any of the members of the crew, that are captured on digital recording devices. We have captured a lot of those over the time, and they're quite creepy, because we know it's none of us. So I don't know where they come from. The thing is, if you ask a question and the question gets answered by an EVP, then that's evidential, because it's answering your questions.
Can you please talk to us? Talk to us through the white noise on this device. Can you tell us your name? Give us your name. Rachel. You hear that?
Yeah.
Rachel. What is your age? 19. 19 years old. Am I right saying that? Yes. Am I right saying that? Yes. What did you die of? What did you die of? Well, that was interesting.
This is a millimeter, and it turns on. And what this does, this will pick up electrical energy, magnetic energy, and it'll also read the temperature. You've heard about cold spots and temperature going down. If there's a ghost present, you would ask it to drop the temperature down, or if you get a spike in the electromagnetic energy in an area, that could indicate there's a ghost around as well, because they're supposed to give that off. It's called a Mel meter after the inventor, the American guy. His daughter called Melanie. She died in a car accident when she was 21, and he was an engineer, and he wanted to find a way to contact her. So he created this. And that's why it's called the Mel meter. It's named after her, which is interesting. The thing on the top is a temperature gauge that picks up ambient temperature. Right, next thing, really common piece of ghost hunting equipment. It's called the K2 meter. What that does is, you see it's on there. What you're looking for, it's basically like, they call it a Ouija board in your hand, because once you've got it on, you can't tinker with it, you can't manipulate the lights at all. So what you would do is you put that in your hand, or leave it on a surface. You'd ask the ghost to come near it to manipulate the lights. You know, is anybody there? You know, and this is my favourite, personally, it's my favourite piece of kit, because this is the one you get the most results from. Lots of ghost hunters use this. Loads. I mean, it's a very common piece of equipment. We've got quite a few of them, obviously, because we just place them around the place. This here is my own invention. There's an old experiment called a trigger object that was devised years ago by a famous ghost hunter called Harry Price. We've used them over the time. Basically what you would do, you'd get a piece of paper, put a cross on or a coin and draw around it. You'd leave it in a place by itself, nobody go near it. Sometimes you'd go back and it moved. Yeah. The problem with that is you don't know if somebody's knocked it, or you don't know if somebody's done it on purpose. So I thought about how can I get round the way of knowing that the cross has moved without any manipulation at all, like a visual indicator that it's moved. So I came up with this idea. So the cross, it's got sensors inside, and you set it up like that, you put it anywhere. This blue light is really bright, so if that moves, the lights flicker, and it indicates that someone's touched it. You can put that miles away near a camera, and you can see that nobody's touching it. So the only time that's going to go off is if you put it in the cross, in the line. And it's just a visual indicator that's been moved without anybody tampering with it, you know what I mean? So it's more evidential.
And affect somebody else, so they can feel it.
What the f***? Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
I heard that.
I don't know. It was, I don't know. It could be one of the things falling over Simone. Oh, it don't come anywhere near. Oh, you're not going to believe this.
What?
Look on the floor. What's that on the floor?
Whoa, f me. Hell. Whoa.
You better come up here.
Aye.
You what? You better. I'm shaking you.
Felt the cold.
Yeah, you better come up here. Watch where you're walking. So I put the next face stairs.
What's the light on?
Just make on.
Put the light on.
There's the light switches. Come here. Can you see that on the floor?
Look at that. Oh my
We
God!
were nowhere.
Oh my Lord!
We were nowhere near that.
You're nowhere near
Oh, I'm getting cold shivers now, so...
That is
that's
behind me.
it obviously
That's
doesn't
what it
like that then.
were-
I heard the bloody
We
thump.
were all up in that... Like,
We
top
were
corner
at
there.
that
We've been
corner.
hearing whistles.
I heard the whistles.
And then that.
Oh, when the camera trained on the bloody
Oh, I
thing.
had it on him because he said my head's feeling hot.
If it went a little bit further, I would have sent the bloody motion sensors
Take
on
the
the
back
back.
of my head.
I thought it was one of the motion sensors falling over.
Put your
It's
in
completely got. That was. We've never gone near that, have we, Jimmy?
Oh, no,
Never
no,
gone
it's-
near it.
Paranormal investigation, as far as I'm aware, has become more popular over the years. More teams seem to be doing it. I think TV shows like Most Haunted, Ghost Adventures, they've kind of really put it in the public eye. And yeah, you get a lot more independent amateur teams doing it nowadays. So I think if anything, it's just become more popular and it's become more accepted, mainstream.
Where do I start? I could tell you about all sorts. We had, in 2006, I was contacted by a person in need of help who said they had a poltergeist in the house. We went and investigated that. That went on for almost a year, and we're seeing some of the most hair-raising stuff you can imagine. It was called the South Shields Poltergeist, and there was I wrote a big hardback book about it, me and a fellow author who investigated the case. That was absolutely fantastic. That we were just there, and things were happening all the time. Doors were slamming, things were being thrown around, and the guy in the house was actually like cut. He took his shirt off, and you could see the cuts appearing on him. And he was bleeding, and he was being pushed around, and it was just absolutely horrendous.
What makes a good investigator? You have to obviously have patience. You have to be very open-minded, skeptical on occasions. You have to be obviously prepared to sit in dark places in the middle of the night by yourself or whatever. A lot of people can't understand why we do it, but you have to actually experience an investigation to understand why we do it. Obviously, when you're going over the evidence you've got, as in recorded or video footage, you have to be very, very observant. You have to be very patient, as I say. You're sitting there for 5 hours looking at one camera, the footage from one camera, and you've got to think we've got 5 cameras, and we've also got the head cameras, so that's 10 cameras full up of footage, and you have to go through every single frame to capture something, because if you don't look at it, then you don't know.
My opinion on whether or not a ghost's real, I still can't say either way, if they are or aren't. What I can say is that there are certain things which happen which don't have an explanation currently. Whether or not that's what is considered traditionally to be a ghost, I couldn't possibly say. So perhaps in the future, maybe.